CJ, this is where they just get to just work. They do so many incredible things off of middle with their aggression, and Rush is just the safest pair of hands on the B site.
All right, with all that being said, here we go into the action now, starting on T side, Laser on CT, but like you said, I mean, this map both on T and CT is one that Carson loves to take mid control on, and I mean, it benefits him not only as a player because he does get the frags and do quite well for himself, but as an IGL, gaining the information for his squad on both sides of the map. Junior moving up towards Cat, 133 on the clock. Dinoco sees a player, taps away. That is Junior. He won't find the headshot. He gets so much information here. I'm surprised they're not cleaning him out. There we go. It eventually happens. Junior flicks around that corner and finds the headshot with the P250. Laser have a couple of players on A. There will be 3 eventually, and a 4th is trying to lurk in. That's Landon. He hasn't been hurt either because he's walking forward.
But that bomb will go down nonetheless. They're being pincered in from basically every angle. Somehow, Landon can't find a shot initially. Junior's cat flank finally comes to fruition. Kit smoke available for Moth, and he's going to try to find the bomb, but he takes so much damage in the process that it's just not possible for him to really get on it. And now that head's been spotted as well. It's just a matter of time. Knife should be able to swing through.
Oh no!
Oh my god, he got away with it. He actually got away with it, Moth. A martyr for the Brazilians, but they get the 1-0 start.
What? There's no way. On the edge of the smoke, he gets the defusal. I don't know why Rush doesn't pull out the pistol and start shooting sooner. That is a coup for Laser. They're probably freaking out on the comms right now. That's why you're going to see the timeout called here. They are pumped that they were able to sneak that one through. But my goodness, that did not go the way Nouns drew it up. So many players still standing, but they couldn't find the frag until a millisecond after the bomb was defused. Goodness me.
I will say, with both of these maps, we've had some really awesome highlight reel rounds on both ends of the equation. So, you know, for Laser, they're showing that they can hang with some of the best in North America, and they're all doing it while giving us a smile on the faces. So, I mean, this is a fun little series when everything is said and done. Still a lot to play, though. I mean, it's only round 2 now, and the buy will be potent, considering all those vests were still up. That means 4 Galils. They're looking to just completely dry swing out. That nade is good to do some auxiliary damage, but Landon's caught in the left side of the window.
Yeah, he is spotted as well, so, I mean, the smoke helps him fade away, so he'll be fine. That's information gained for Nouns, who will be afforded this mid-control. They did have the bomb planted the previous round, a lot of frags as well. That means the Galils and the AKs can still come up. CJ swinging around. Oh, W1's not even expecting that. Junior with a follow-up as well. 5v3 in favor of Nouns, and the A site is pretty much abandoned by Laser. They fall off. Landon is going to connect on the head of Carson from window, but, I mean, bomb goes down, no questions asked here.
Yeah, very awkward setup there from Laser. I mean, you've got an A main player as well as a site player, but that player on A main is so worried about the Palace lurk. But, bro, you're there to really focus forward. You're there to hold on to ramp. And unfortunately, he gets absolutely blindsided by CJ's Tech 9, and then it's pretty much done and dusted. You can easily split into that site, easily find that side anchor, and Laser very smartly back away and save on to these guns because they've still got a potent buy in the following with these 3 rifles.
Yeah, I'm surprised they pulled the plug when they did, though, because it felt like they still had a chance to get back into it.
For sure.
Maybe Tadazin recognizing the fact that he was a little bit isolated towards CT. I don't know what went through their minds, but they said, you know what, let's give it up. Let's live to fight another round and fall off. So we are tied 1-1. Honestly, could easily have been 2-0 again for Nouns, but that defusal in the smoke was the difference.
We have a weird third round bye on both ends, but Tinoco and his compatriot aggress down into underpass, looking to overwhelm Rush, and they absolutely will. He goes down with nothing. I mean, the information is definitely gained and the bomb is recovered, but Nouns have to be quick about this. They've got to find a little more map control now that they know what's
really
coming. Yeah, very good kill from Junior to find as well to punish the aggression.
George trying to punish it even further here. They're trying to peek around from Con. Eventually the smoke goes up here. Do they realize as a player still in Con itself that could punish them? That's W1. Peeks around W1. Oh, doesn't get anything. So much damage done. He got Junior down to 8 HP, but couldn't finish his food. Molotov burning away at the feet of Landon, so he has to vacate the premises. Dinoco trying to get something. He's got a couple of very low players, so he could possibly do the damage. There's one. Tadazine gets the second. Dinoco's still standing, and now they readjust themselves towards a vacated A site. So another great read from Nouns, but still, I mean, Laser are going to be on their heels very quickly.
Yeah, 3 players coming from Connector. That Molotov is fantastic. It doesn't flush out Junior completely, though, and Dinoco falls. Carson can now nestle himself into that A side. Junior is just going to have to play his life. He does manage to scamper out of the murder hole back into CT territory, and Landon, he's wondering where the hell Junior's gone off to, but Junior, he's gonna go back through the murder hole. He's got the backstab instantaneously. He knows one player is spotted onto the bomb, but it's a 10-second defuse. Carson surely will find him, and Nouns still find themselves in the lead with 2 rounds.
Oh my goodness. I thought for a moment it would happen again, that the smoke diffusal would come through for Laser, but no. This time Carson has his wits about him, and he takes care of business. 2-1 for Nouns. Laser lose everything. They can't save the guns, and they will be stuck on a full-on eco here. I don't even know if they invest anything. They don't. $0 spent, which means either an aggressive push through mid or a stack on one of the sites, and the site stack might come in for B. Yeah, I think they're just going to try and push underpass is my guess and meet up with the B players towards the site, but instead it actually looks more like a mid crunch that will come through. Anyway, Nouns should be on the A site before Laser have an inkling of what's happening here.
Yeah, they're just going to try to swarm by numbers and see if they can take over a gun. And here comes that sweep. And AK should be able to mop them up, no problem. Patterson does find one. And now Carson down low to bullets, and another rifle is found. So at this point, if I'm Laser, I'm just heading for the hills. I'm running right back to that B bomb site, holding on to these rifles and sending them into round number 5. And they understand that. They're going through with that as well. So very smart decision from the Brazilians, and they'll capitalize on this full eco. They'll send... Okay, never mind. I was thinking they would send at least one player in George, but he'll opt against it.
Yeah, I mean, that's positive $5,400 just in the rifles. Not to mention they also picked up a flash and a smoke off the ground. That is pretty successful for a full-on eco, honestly. So Nouns going to get a third, but again, Laser are staying in it in the early goings, getting the damage, keeping the guns up, and getting some saved over into the follow-up rounds.
Now, Laser have an option if they want to completely buy in, and they will. They will opt in for that. They will not have the sniper for Landon, but they're going to have to just make do with the rifles here. But Nouns so far, they're establishing mid control as we kind of expected. Their extremity players are doing a lot of work to punish some aggression from the CT side. Mid aggression from Dinoco to try and duel. Oh, and Carson just finds one right before he falls. But it's an all-out A brawl where they trade effectively. They've gotten themselves that first letter of the alphabet. The bomb should be able to go down. But Landon's pretty close here on this fast CT aggression.
Yeah, he could do some damage here. Trying to come around the corner with Tadazine in synchronization. There's Junior getting nothing. Landon and Tadazine doing a great job. In fact, it's now a 2v1. Only Rush left. Rush peeks around.
Ooh.
He cannot win both duels. Moth finds the headshot, and it will be Laser winning the round with the saved AKs, showcasing themselves at the right time.
Yeah, it's a really risky decision for Moth to rotate from jungle all the way to CT spawn, but he gets in there just in the nick of time to trade out his teammate. There was a real world where Rush could have isolated those two 1v1s and won the clutch, but spacing was just a little bit better from that CT side. They reorient themselves, they keep this game one round the difference. And Landon will also have enough to purchase in that sniper rifle. Curious to see his decision making in this round. But so far, Lazer continue to show that they can hang around with the caliber of Nouns on Mirage.
See how long that lasts, though. They're charging up mid. Dinoco catches Carson in a corner, but the flashbang saves the day for Carson. George throws a perfect one. Moth down to 13 HP as well. Oh my goodness, the damage is going both ways. The Junior hits the headshot onto W1, and Moth is still limping away towards that B site. Mid-control gained with authority from Nouns. Now they'll walk into either bomb site. It will be A, and there's another one from George. A ripper of a shot. 5v2 for Nouns, and this round is done.
Yeah, if you want to fight fire with fire and try to take back mid-control, it's going to have to be a lot more decisive than that. The flashbangs are perfect for Nouns in that little mid-brawl. And you could just see how discombobulated some of these players are on Lazer. Players looking at walls, staring up into the sky, not knowing where they're really being attacked from. And as soon as they do establish those 2 kills, it's just off to the races for that A bomb site control. I don't think they'll be able to save the CJ's going to go bounding through, but the trade is there. Tadazin's been spotted. Get to him. Oh, yeah, that's kind of insane that he's able to get that off. But he'll hold on to the A4, but that's about it, John. I mean, Nouns looking to get themselves a 5th here, surely.
Yeah, no, I mean, Tadazine at least hanging on to that. I honestly didn't expect it. Just a pre-fire that goes perfectly for him. The bullet and the crosshair were at the right place at the right time. But you're right. Nouns, I don't see a world where they won't get a 5th round here. Tadazine will probably play a more passive angle so that if things start going wrong, he can retreat and continue to save that M4 onto the next round. As I say that, he's charging into Palace with Landon, so I guess not. But it is a risk for them to try and take this space. Landon is going to be the only one to continue forward as Tadazine does indeed fall back to a safer angle. 3 players on to B, and Nouns are just kind of taking their time and waiting for some aggression to come through by playing defaults here.
Instead, Lazer are just going to sit back on the information they've garnered with that triple B gamble. And Tadazine is leaning towards that side of the map as well. But again, they don't have any information in mid. They have no idea what's going on in ladder or connector or even window for that matter. CJ will get himself into ladder. And they'll molly off the catwalk. It's really up to Carson to really take some space into that A site. And Nouns will commit to this. They have the option to leave if they want to, but the B split is looking very convincing to them.
I can't believe Dinoco's alive. Both nades connecting with him. 5 HP left, and it hasn't been done by any bullets from the AKs. You see, Nouns are thinking, what the heck is going on? 32 seconds left. They don't have a choice now. They have to go towards this B site. It will be a little bit problematic. George falling.
Oh!
I mean, they have time, but it is going to be very difficult to get back to A. No one is there, so that's the good news. Rush gets a couple headshots there onto W1 and Moth, and now Rush finds himself a 3rd. He's mopping up all the bodies. The bomb plant comes through. They do have time to rotate. I thought it would be a little tighter than that, but they still had 10 seconds to spare.
Whew. Crisis averted for Nouns. You could see that split looking very dangerous for themselves. shooting themselves in the foot for that matter. Especially when you have con control like that. I always just ask for the teams to slow the rounds down, and luckily they did just in time. As soon as Carson clears out that top of connector and clears out jungle, it's a no-brainer. You gotta reorient the bomb the other end. George? Is he okay here?
Terrorists win.
But
he is.
The rifles will be held on to.
Yeah.
And win-win for Laser in some senses, considering that was that full eco.
Yeah, again, they get a couple of AKs off of a full eco, which is crazy that it happens twice in a row. But they manage it. I think they had that one rifle at least, the M4, which got upgraded, of course, but still. 5-2 for Nouns. Still looking strong, all things considered. But Laser showing that they're no slouches, and they do belong here at the ECL level. At least so far, they've shown that. I never expected them to come out with a win against Nouns, but certainly making some noise against them is something to speak about. Landon gets the off shot onto Carson. Rush comes out and gets a trade onto W1. Dinoco's here, but he's the lone Ranger, has to wait for reinforcements to come through, and if he is dropped here before they arrive, it will be even more problematic to try and get the retake going. He does manage to slip through the smoke and get back towards the middle, but oh no, his head was spotted out over the edge of it. Rush gets the headshot, and now Laser are thinking, oh boy, we lost our presence. Do we even try to get back into the site, or are we just falling off to save because the economy is not great?
They were hoping that maybe if Dinoco's able to live in connector, maybe you have that flank from Moth and T-Spawn to formulate and find a kill back, but yeah, that kill onto Dinoco basically seals the deal. It was a bad smoke for Nouns, and it actually is a blessing in disguise of sorts. It gives them a little bit of a headshot angle to Rush, and this guy has been individually very crisp at the start of this series. I mean, on Ancient, had some very key impact frags on that defense, and now here on Mirage, also showing how important he is.
Terrorists win.
So we move on. 6-2 in favor of Nouns. Again, guaranteeing that at the very most, Laser will be able to tie this one up, but they need 4 in a row, and it has to start, I would say, right now if they want to try and rack up a few more rounds. Because, well, it hasn't looked that great, aside from the pistol round, which was a little bit surprising in itself that he got the defusal off and then a follow-up afterwards, which was down to, I think, only one player. Anyway, double lob setup coming through here for Laser. We don't see it that often anymore in CS2. Because of the way the op plays out, but it can work very effectively on maps like Mirage and Dust 2. Nouns trying to go quickly and aggressively here into the site, and speaking of ops, there's Moth connecting onto CJ, but he has to be careful. They could overload him very quickly, but surprisingly, Nouns don't choose to do that. They slow up considerably, Paladin.
Yeah, and I think they get that information that double op setup is in play. That's all the information that they wanted. They pump fake, essentially. They've still got a couple belts of utility, meaning there's still a little bit more in them if they want to move back to that A-bomb site, or at least establish mid-control. And that's what they'll do. They'll smoke off window, they'll get out of the underpass, and Laser don't want anything to do with this mid-space. It's been a real thorn in their side, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, now it's just so good at taking. It's going to be more passive. Oh, Tenzing turns around at the wrong time. Not sure if there was an audio cue or something that made him turn his head. In the meantime, Dinoco does manage to get the immediate trade, but the B site is a little bit more vulnerable. George waiting for a rotation to come through to try and make it a 3v3 before they go for the actual take. That's a perfect Molotov at the feet of Moth, but Junior turns around at the wrong time, and Moth the 2K, one after the other. Carson the last to fall, and there's Laser on the board again in very decisive fashion. The double op rings true, and in fact, it was just one op that was doing the work. It's Moth with 3 frags.
That's lovely stuff there from Moth. I kind of expected him to provide that level of firepower, and he does so in spades. But a lot more work to be done in this half. Only 3 rounds to speak of, and I don't really feel like they've been all too replicable apart from that round previous. But they've got a chance to make do with what they've got, especially considering this is the last buy for Nouns. They're going to Hail Mary into that B bomb site, straight into that secondary AWP. Moth is up to bat once more, and he passes that test.
Moth is ridiculous right now with the big green. Danoko going to try and follow up. He doesn't, but his teammate will get the trade immediately. And Moth, another 3K with the up. What a time for him to find his form with the sniper rifle. And now it's only a 2-round lead for Nouns. And as you mentioned earlier, the rifles may not be able to come out into this round. They could opt to force up here, get George and Rush onto Galil's with utility and everyone else onto pistols, but I think it would be better to wait for the final round. Maybe they'll get some light upgrades here, but that's probably the most that we'll see.
I've seen them do some damage on these Deagles now and again, but with no armor, it's going to be really tough. Make me eat my words, George,
Jeez.
please.
Oh my goodness, yes. George, what a shot. Now a 5v4. They won't be able to recover the rifle, of course, at least not yet. I think Rush is in a position to try and make a dive for it, but Tadazine's watching. Oh, Tadazine sees his hand as well. Rush is dead to rights, and no! He survives with 1 HP! Counting his lucky stars. Another chance here to do some damage and keeping it at an even 5v5 as Nouns have worked 3 players in towards ramp, 1 into Palace, and that Palace player's gone. W1 ventilates him with the AK and then takes care of CJ as well, so this round is probably a non-starter at this point, even though it was an exciting start for Nouns.
You're not believing in the Rush 1 HP?
Not quite.
Picked up by anyone else, but that's easy pickings for Landon. 5 rounds found for E-Xolos LAZER, and a chance to equalize it at the end of the half. A way to reorient themselves. Credit to Moth to getting them back on track. A couple of huge heroic rounds on that B bomb site to really pull them back together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Moth is, at this point for me, the MVP of the CT side for LAZER. The only reason why they were able to get up to this scoreline and make it as close as it is. Now Nouns have the AKs back, though. We'll see if they go for one of their signature quick pushes, which they haven't really done that much so far in this half, aside from the mid control they've gained. There's the smokes and the flashes. They're trying to make it look like it'll be a quick execute. I'm not sure if it actually will be. But yeah, no, they've got 2 players lined up at connector, and the other 3 are working their way, and that's going to trigger them to move forward. Landon gets the trade, but they're already in. They're going to start putting pressure onto the A site defenders as CJ's waiting for Landon to try and come in con. He sees him, he takes him out as well, and that will give them the manage they're looking for, although W1 is right around the corner, and the trades continue to come through until we're down to a 1v1. Rush up against Moth. Moth lower in terms of health, but that won't matter with the big green in his hands. He has to guess right here. Rush looking around, deciding where he needs to go. This is the angle being watched by Moth, but he turns away right as Rush comes out of the broken wall. Oh my goodness, Rush looking for something. And is the timing going to be in his favor? Oh, he gets caught in the door frame, but it doesn't get punished. I don't think Moth saw him, nor heard him. So the bomb gets planted. Now Moth has to guess which site it's on. It looks like he realizes quickly it is not the A site, so he starts deviating himself to B. But oh my goodness. Everything could have gone wrong for Rush, but the timing just worked out for him every single moment. Bomb ticking away. About half the time left on it here for him. Moth moving in, needs to get a quick frag. I mean, he'd rather have a rifle in this situation, has no idea where to look. I think he's already out of time. He's going to try and stick it. Rush doesn't think he's going to, and he hits the shot, but now, will he have enough time to get the defusal? It's going to be down to the wire, and no, he won't get it. 7-5 in favor of Nouns. Rush hangs on to give his team a slim lead as we head to the break. back. A lot closer than we expected here between Nouns and Laser. Only 2 rounds separating the 2 squads, and it could have even been a tie game. That's how close it got in that final round of play. But Nouns are now on to their favorite side, the CT side, and this is one where they love to get aggressive. We talked about it. They want that mid control early, and look at this actually going 3 players underpass, only 1 on A, that's Junior, and all 5 of the Laser players are headed in his direction.
He's going to have to stand and deliver and then some. At least stall for long enough that maybe he can find some damage, but Denoco ripped his head off. Bomb should be planted momentarily, but this is going to be a tough retake for Nouns. And look at this. Moth, Denoco, they chime in with some more CT aggression. This looks over and done with.
Yeah, more than likely. Rush has to do something heroic here to even get a chance to find their way back onto the site. The armor... Okay. Whew. I was going to say the armor might be worth saving, but they're already dead. There's no chance. Denoco gets the last here. 6th round found for Laser. A decisive pistol round from them, largely in part thanks to Denoco's 3K. And they are right back into the swing of things. Nouns almost certainly going to go for the eco here. I don't see them investing too heavily.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it's really worth it at this point. Just play it out at evens at 7 and kind of go from there. W1 smoking off middle. They'll get that early mid control at the very least. And Nouns don't want to overcomplicate things. Just going as a conga line into connector. There's one singular flashbang. I'm considering that they're just going to fly out and hope they can find something off the back of that one flash. Just a matter of time now. Here it comes.
Yeah, they do something here. Denoco, not exactly the cleanest of sprays. George gets one, Carson another. It's a couple of AKs off the ground here for Nouns and hold the phone. I mean, they've got the B site through Laser, but Nouns could charge in here and potentially make it a little bit more difficult for Laser. Maybe even find the round, but I mean, they're really far away. They don't have the kits. Perhaps just taking the Galil and the AK out of the round will be the best choice for them, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they'll send Rush to see if he can find another kill on the way out. He's hearing Mott's footsteps, but can't really do anything about it. And Moth will evacuate. They'll all move into CT spawn. They'll be able to hold on to the rest of those rifles. But nice finds for Nouns with that singular $200 investment. Oh wow, they actually get to scavenge a Molotov as well. So a nice $400 found on the ground as well.
Alrighty. Not too shabby at all here for Nouns out of that round, but we are tied up 7-7. So no dominant half yet for Nouns. Maybe the latter part of the second half of Ancient, but I mean, Laser's been hanging in there. They've been a thorn in the side of this Nouns squad, which is a really good sign if you're a Laser fan, because Nouns are one of those teams that you can certainly be dominated against if you don't bring your A game. All right, there's an opener from Junior. Nice movement to get on top of the fencing there and then push up towards mid. Carson loves to put pressure here with the rifles. And he is again walking to the smoke. Landon has absolutely no idea. And there it is, headshot found. 5v3 in favor of Nouns. CJ on top of the fencing. Oh, this stays there a little bit too long. Denoco manages to get a frag here. Nade sails in and does very little damage, but Junior does it all with the bullets instead. 4v2. W1 spotting out a player, gaining space onto the B site. This could yield a plant, and I think it should. They might lose another player, but they don't. Moth is actually heads up there to find Junior. So a 3v2 man advantage for Nouns on the retake.
It's still very doable for the Brazilians. They've gotten into some pretty good post plants. Carson's here for that late apartments flank, and he's been caught out by W1. This is all really T-favored at this point. W1 will double down. And now George is headed for the hills, picking up a little bit of utility at top mid. And the Brazilians reclaim, or I should say claim, the lead for the first time in this game. Or maybe second time, but beyond that pistol.
Yeah, they had the pistol lead, but it hasn't been very often that they've had a lead that's lasted very long. We'll see if this one is a little more extended. George does manage to upgrade from a Galil to an AK. And the rest of his team, he could drop one. I mean, even two M4s. Junior S 5.2K. I think this happens. I think that they go for a buy up here on the Nouns side. Maybe they'll call a timeout to talk things over. No, they're just going to go for it. Makes sense. The money is there. So we'll see if they can strike back immediately and tie this one up once more. But Lazer's looking pretty good so far on their T side, especially the case of that B site. Landon rattles off a shot there, pre-firing around the corner, doesn't connect on anything, and now Junior's going to try and spot out a player.
Ballsy to go for the repeat, but that's the Junior trademark.
Oh, yeah.
To hold on to that mid-box line. Tadazin has made his way out, so possibility at finding kills there, but Dinoco has made his way through the underpass. He spotted at least a shoulder of Junior at this point, and they've established mid-control by hook or by crook.
Oh, look at this. Moth could do a lot of damage again here. Oh, gets spotted out, and now he's trying to retreat. Flashbang thrown. He will survive. Nouns, again, are going to try and push in and do some damage, but Dinoco and W1 are up to the task and more. CJ only gets one before he is dropped as well. Junior connecting onto Dinoco could open a path back into this A site, but he's alone for now. He's just trying to hold them off on the angle here, standing in that Molotov a little bit too long. And with that, not finding anything, I think they just retreat. Lazer are going to have a 2-round lead over Nouns here on Nouns' best map in their pool.
Yeah, at that point, Lazer just living on that A main aggression from Nouns is everything, because that's when the Palace player can strike. That late con lurk also has a little bit of potency as well. I mean, that is just a bunch of very well coordinated lurks from Lazer, coordinating themselves into a beautiful little A site hit. And Nouns, their aggression is being punished, and the Brazilians are running rampant. Mirage is not a formality as we had kind of expected.
Yeah.
They're going to have to work for this one, John.
Absolutely. Nouns, and not to mention, I mean, their economy is still a little precarious. They could justify a force up again here. I feel like they will, because it's available to them. But going for an eco isn't a bad idea either, and building up that economy for a proper buy-up. And it appears to be, well, not an eco, but a half buy that comes through. I think this is definitely the right call from them. Sure, you might give up double digits to Lazer, but you set yourselves up for a much better follow-up round. And it's not a guarantee that Lazer will pull this one off either. Junior's got the AWP, and he is watching, I believe, from Connector, yeah. And he actually already gets one. On to Landon. Great spot towards a ramp, in fact. Then he rotates into mid, gets his head taken off afterwards by Dinoco, so perhaps a step too far. Tadazine strikes true onto CJ, and now tapping away, he finds Carson through the smoke. It is all Lazer all the time until George finally puts a stop to Dinoco. He's looking for that gun. He can't find it just yet. Goes to the stairs just in time for W1 to spot him out, and he almost sprays George down to 0 health. But George will be able to limp away with 21 HP to his name. The problem here, Paladin, is that the A site is completely free for the taking.
Yeah, and I think George just wants to live with this AWP.
Yes.
Maybe he can find one on the way out, but Lazer, they managed to make this work, but oh my goodness, I think they're still going to have a look in, especially considering Rush has this flank timing, but Tadazin is watching it. Very smart there from Tadazin.
What's George doing? George, what are you doing?
Oh.
Why are you going? George, why? Why? No. I mean, yes, Junior can buy the op into this round, but like, what chance do you have going in with an op sneaking through a smoke in that situation? That is a bit of a weird individual choice, but okay. Timeout going to be called, maybe to talk that one over and say, hey, George, and I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is an inherent risk. I mean, I don't really like it, but George will have to live with those consequences. I mean, 5 and 10, CJ 5 and 15. Very uncharacteristic games from both of these individuals.
Yeah.
And Lazer, man, they're looking coordinated on this T side. They're very understanding of how they want to play this map out, and they're catching Nouns' aggression very smartly, no matter what part of the round it may be.
Well, last season there was a bit of an upset that happened in Nouns' second series of ECL Season 47 where they lost a map to Mythic. Maybe that happens again to start Season 48. That loss against Laser. Dinoco's already got Junior dead to rights. Follow-up as well. What is happening here? 5v3. That aggression towards mid is yielding nothing for Nouns. Tadazine pop George in the head. In fact, he's going to find CJ first. Might overlook George now, but no, he's already ready to throw the Molotov. W1 is prepared to flush him out with the AK afterwards and does exactly that. Rush, last one standing, and will at least find one onto Tadazine, but he takes a lot of damage, down to half health. Good flashbang thrown to get him a readjustment towards the site, but he's just got so many bodies to find, and the way Laser are set up here, you'd think that they'll have the edge. He spotted the barrel of the ops, so he has the jump here potentially on one. There it is. Landon found. Follow-up as well. Hold the phone. Rush has the 3K, but no. Moth, the hero, finds the last 11-7 in favor of Laser, and that is Moth's 15th frag. He leads the entire server here, tied with Junior on the other side.
And 19 rounds played, only 6 deaths.
Yeah.
John, that is insane to have as far as that KD stat line. But right now, Laser are punishing every opening gambit that Nouns is throwing at them. Junior is trying so hard to find impact on that AWP, but at every turn he is being just figured out.
I think he's forcing the issue a little bit too much.
I do agree. I do agree.
Going to underpass, right? It just felt like that was an unnecessary move. Anyway. He's been so good up to this point. I think he just kind of expects himself to find something to contribute to his team at times. Well, here he's hiding in the smoke. Probably hear Dinoco go through. Dinoco's dead. George and Rush combine there with the double peek. Tadazine does find Junior afterwards, and now Landon is in a tough spot. Tadazine trying to support him, and he's doing a great job at that. Gives his team the man edge. Still holding Cat. Carson doubles back here to try and deal with W1. His teammate falls. Yeah, Carson does manage to get the trade, even though he's down to 13 HP. But again, I think Nouns are on the outside looking in this round and will likely save for overtime.
Yeah, they want to try to do that 5-round run back, but
oof.
Man, oh man, this is going to be a tough task. Laser have just charged up, and I can't even imagine how this game has just slipped right from their grasp. They did all their hard work on that T side and nothing defensively. I mean, we've seen such clinical CT sides from this squad in games past that you're thinking this is pretty much over. But I mean, credit to E-Xolos LAZER for just completely proving me wrong.
I think one thing that Laser is doing right here is they're exposing the gap in the defense of Nouns, because if you watch Nouns' tape on this map, you know that they love to get aggressive into mid, jumping out the window, charging in from con, going to top mid, but that takes a lot of bodies, right? And it leaves those defensive gaps, and one of them is that B site, and you've seen Laser multiple times now get into B, winning a couple of fights maybe towards the A site as well, but that B site has been abused, and Nouns just can't hang on to it. So great on Laser. I mean, they've been flawless so far in the second half. They have played very, very well. It is not just Nouns' missteps. They have had a couple, but Laser have punished them and done a great job strategically.
And now they take a timeout to discuss this all-important round. They don't want Nouns to get any sort of momentum and pull this back to overtime. They want to finish this right here, right now. What's the game plan from the Brazilians? Looks like mid control is still firmly going to be in their sights. Tadazine has an opportunity at an opener, but Flash does avert his gaze just slightly. And Nouns feeling a little bit more apprehensive.
Junior, ooh, misses the shot. That would have been a ridiculous one to hit, honestly. It's George waiting there towards Ticket. He's the only one on A. What were you going to say, Paladin?
Again, underpass aggression.
But
and this time it might actually find something. Dinoco is trying to sell something, but they're going to find his back turned. and realize this is all a ruse. They're going to have to try to run back into this A site. George has to stay alive for as long as possible as this cavalry continues to arrive. Carson knows what's coming. But dudes, Laser know that that's coming on the other end. No, they don't.
Oh, Carson trying to collect another scalp. He's got such a good opportunity to do it. There it is. Another perhaps on the cards. No, finally W1 shuts him down. But it is a 4v2 for Nouns. 45 seconds left. They're giving them the fights. They keep giving them the fights. Landon and W1 get 2 more, and now we're even in terms of numbers. Look, the health is not great for Laser, but they've got a free and clear B site to take. Junior is coming in on the flank, but he's going to be too late to deal with them. They're already going to have site control by the time he gets up there. At least I say that. Almost didn't. They both dropped down. There's the bomb planted. Junior along with George are coming from the same angle. There's the smoke thrown. It's not in time. Junior collects the head of W1. Only Landon left, and he's watching the wrong angle. No one is going to be coming from that vicinity. He has to be quick on the trigger and the reactions to realize what is going down and make the adaptation necessary to win this round. Bomb taking away. Going to be a smoke thrown down on it. They know he has the op, so just going to be stuck. But he connects on a Junior. One more required. George going to try to stick it as well. Landon actually pulls him off it somehow. I don't know what happens. George is going to give him the round. That's going to be it. Laser taking it. Landon with a no-scope to wrap it up. Unbelievable stuff from Laser as they take it 13-7, flawless on their T side.
You know, we questioned whether we would get an upset today, and we absolutely did. E-Xolos LAZER shocking us here on Mirage to do it on Nouns' home turf and to do it in style like that. What a map of Mirage, John. That was a fun best of one.
Oh.